So the first thing I want to do is get you both to introduce yourself. So we'll start with you, Johann, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Johann. I'm the Group Managing Director of On Point Accounting Group. We've got accounting firms from Edinburgh, actually an hour and a half north of Edinburgh, right down to Kent. And I've been using QuickBooks ever since I started my journey in 2017. I've got a team of 22 people split between 14 in the UK, 9 in Sri Lanka, and we look after about 800 clients dotted across the UK, from your sole trader, window cleaner doing his tax return, up to a couple of £1 million turnover businesses looking at doing their next acquisition.
Brilliant, thank you. Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris from Gascoigne's Accountants, mainly based in Bury St Edmunds. We've got 3 offices across Norfolk and Suffolk, head office in Bury St Edmunds. We've got other offices in Ipswich and Wyndham. I started as accountant in 1991, so it's been quite a long while now. We started with QuickBooks in 96 and sort of started the journey of digital probably about 2014, 15. We've got, I think it's about 1,750 self-assessment tax returns, about 700 limited companies, and yeah, used QuickBooks throughout that journey.
Brilliant. So we've just heard from Tom, and we definitely understand that QuickBooks, accountant practices all across the UK are at different stages. There will be some that still haven't started that digital journey yet. There'll be others that would say they are a digital firm of the future and they're pioneers in this space. What I want to hear from you two is, can you share with the audience what's been your transformational journey and what was the trigger for you to move to being a fully fledged digital firm? So, Johann?
So I started the business in 2017. It was just going to be me. I was 27, single, with a dog, and I lived in this amazing deal. Like, I lived in the annex of a holiday accommodation up in North Scotland, so I paid £400 a month for my rent and utilities. In return, they may need some maintenance every now and then. I may need to cut the lawn. I was like, well, if I'm going to go self-employed, now's the time to do it. The plan was never to have this huge firm. I've just taken opportunities as they've come to me. But when I was employed, we were using this system called iScala, and it makes some of the stuff that you're trained on still at universities look modern. It was horrific. So I knew I wanted to use modern software, and I was doing my research, and there was QuickBooks, or the blue one, or another green one. But QuickBooks it looked right for those small startup businesses that I wanted to work with. So I went along and did the core certification, which was online. Then they had an advanced certification in Edinburgh, so I went down and did that. I kind of liked it, but then I attended a roadshow event like this in Glasgow, where Ewan was on the stage. He was being interviewed about his journey. I just sat there and went, that's what I want to achieve. Like, what he'd done with digital transformation is that's what I wanted to achieve. So to share a stage with him a couple of weeks ago in Glasgow was quite surreal. But I always knew I wanted automation, because the idea of the business was it's to deliver the lifestyle I wanted when I wanted it. Now, my business still delivers that lifestyle. I think in the 9 weeks from the start of September to like end of November, I'd have spent 2 weeks in the business combined. The rest of the time I've been out on tour with QuickBooks, I've been on holiday, I've been doing various other bits. So it's still today, even in the size that it is, allows me to do what I want when I want with my lifestyle. But I couldn't do that if I didn't have everything as automated, efficient, and cloud-based as I do. Like tonight, I won't get home until 11:45 tonight, if I'm lucky and the trains are on time, which could be hit or miss. But I know I'm going to be sat on a train, and I know I'm going to be able to deal with all my clients' emails. I know I'm going to be able to do a load of their bookkeeping, VAT checks and stuff, because it's powered by QuickBooks, and I can do it on my laptop or on my phone anywhere. So yeah, I always wanted to be cloud and digital based, and to find a software that was affordable for those small businesses that I wanted to work with initially was the main reason I went QuickBooks.
Johann's going to Cyprus in a couple of weeks. So what I'm hearing is the prosperity for you, QuickBooks allows you to spend more time at home with your family, be on tour, do the things that you love because everything's in the cloud and you can work on the move.
Yeah, I mean, because of the automation and the power of QuickBooks, we've got a large team, but like the majority of every single team member's time is spent client-facing. We're not spending time processing receipts. Like, the clients don't value that. What they value is our insight to those expenses, and you're spending quite a lot here compared to other clients in the same industry, or you're not as profitable, but what we've seen other clients in this industry do is X, Y, and Z, and that's resulted in a higher profit. That's the value the clients see. So, and that's the bit I enjoy. I want to be sat there with my clients, talking to them, having a coffee and a slice of cake and getting to know them, asking them how the family is, etc. I don't want to be stuck behind a desk processing receipts and stuff like that. That's not what I got in the industry for, but it also allows me to disappear for 2 weeks and turn off every single device and spend that whole 2 weeks with my wife on holiday with not worrying about the business, because I know it's all carrying on without me, because I've got a brilliant team who's led by Jade, and she does everything. Like, she's been with me for years and she's my head of operations now, and she's just incredible. But B, I know that team's backed up with the right software stack to do everything as quickly and efficiently as possible. So they don't need me.
Thank you, Johann. Chris?
Yeah, beat that. Yeah, mine's very different, really. I started in the 90s, so it's very much a traditional firm, and I guess been right through the whole journey of what that brought from. Do you remember paper-based trial balances, double entry bookkeeping, everything like that? So I've sort of started from there, and I guess I was quite lucky I qualified in 96 and got given a massive portfolio. Didn't necessarily know what I was doing. I was sort of early 20s, and the biggest client I had at that stage was using. They were here in healthcare provider basically. And they had 4 or 5 offices, and they used QuickBooks Desktop. And I still meet up with him. He's sold out and retired, and he still says I owe him a lot for teaching on QuickBooks, which I guess he's probably right. But yeah.
So your journey started by having a customer that loved QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And was your introduction into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had, I guess, just that one client, 4 or 5 files on there, and you could see the benefits that brought. Like I said, it was a long while ago, so was that 27 years ago? Feels, is it that long? Try and do maths. So it's a long while ago, and we slowly but surely, became part of the accountants program mid-90s, and then you could see the benefits. So we started doing all of our internal bookkeeping at that stage and pushing clients onto QuickBooks Desktop, and it grew quite rapidly. And then got to around about probably 2014, 15, where a lot of they'd started going cloud, and we were really ready for it. The sort of, like me, I guess the older members of the audience will remember people doing their books, having to try and get the backup files out of Dropbox, restoring the data, then finding the client hadn't restored it, and you have to redo all the work. So as soon as the cloud came, then pretty much overnight we moved all of our QuickBooks Desktop straight into the cloud. So we just had sort of 100 files, much to my to the rep's delight. I think he was trying to sell me 10 files or even 1, and we just moved the whole lot straight away because we could see the benefit. And yeah, from there I think just under 10 years ago, we started preparing all of our accounts within QuickBooks to then move it into a separate product, and that really enabled us to do, bought us so much time at that stage. And we started doing accounts a lot quicker and started to scale our business. And pretty much a year after that, we bought our first business, and it's gone on from there. And obviously, what QuickBooks is doing now is total extension of that, where it's the one-stop shop for everything, where you can do that the whole path through the same bit of software. And yeah, the time it's going to save is just huge.
Yeah. So our value proposition is we'll help you grow, we'll help you drive efficiencies, like I said, and we'll help you with your customers deliver that service that you want linked to your business. So we're definitely hearing how QuickBooks has helped you grow, how you're driving efficiencies, and how you're helping your customers. We've heard a lot from Tom around the AI that's currently in the product. So what I'd love for the audience to know, what features are you using currently that's helping you drive those efficiencies through the use of AI?
I think AI is the next big thing for the industry. So we use ChatGPT already, and ChatGPT is writing our letters of appeal to HMRC when HMRC keep making mistakes. I've got better things to do. Let the AI work on that. It's the fact that it can help validate a VAT return as accurate and spot errors for you means that when you're coming to it, basically a junior team member has already gone through and gone, I think I've sense checked it. You might want to check these areas, but you've not actually had to pay anyone to do that. There's a lot of people who are fear mongering about the likes of receipt capture, DEX, auto entry, hub doc, etc. Oh, it's going to do the bookkeepers out of jobs. No, it didn't. All it did was re-engineer how we spent our time. That's all AI is going to do. It's not going to replace anyone. We still need to check those VAT returns are accurate. We still need to check those tax returns are accurate. We might just be able to do it in a smaller amount of time. And that's the power of AI. So it's just going to re-engineer how we spend our time, which in my case means I can spend more time with my clients and more time doing what I love doing, rather than checking VAT returns or anything else that my team probably wishes I didn't get involved in.
They tell me that as well. So, Chris, yourself, is there any particular features that excite you within the product that, to those who maybe didn't put their hand up, or those who did that maybe aren't utilising all of the features within QuickBooks? Is there anything that you would say that is an absolute must, use this particular part of the product?
I think that my working papers and accounts and tax is going to be a major game changer, where you've not got to take it out of QuickBooks. I mean, we do at the moment because obviously we've been in it so long, but having the end-to-end journey is going to be a key time saver. And as well, you're making sure you choose the right apps. Dexter here today, Dexter's, we've used Dex for a long while now, and that's a phenomenal bit of kit that, having the receipts in the product, you've got receipt capture as well for QuickBooks, and you've got your staff members not having to go back through all their folders and look for all the invoices to support what you've done. The time saved is just huge.
So thanks for mentioning work papers. So when we launched work papers, we had it in the product for about 6 months, and the product team, I was in a meeting and they said that the usage of work papers was around 3%. At that time, it was massively underused. Now that we are able to file for corporation tax, work papers is being used a lot more, but it isn't used anywhere near enough as it should. So I'd love to pass the mic back to Johann, who, if you do follow on LinkedIn, was waxing lyrical about work papers not too long ago. So if you could reshare that passion to the audience of what your love and affection is towards work papers.
So work papers has always been a bit of a vein of my life. I always felt like, what's the point? Like, we've got everything right in QuickBooks. We just need to do a set of accounts and a tax return for this small sole trader or something. But I knew the value in doing the working papers gave us the confidence in the quality of the work. And, yes, we do want to attach a bank statement to prove that that was the balance. And we do want to put the loan statements in, the credit card statements. And we do want to put the attached invoices for all the assets and et cetera, et cetera. But do we want to do all that effort for a sole trader or a small limited company that really they don't care? They just want to know how much have they got to pay tax. They don't care. They don't know what the accounts mean. They just need to know, is that the profit, right? How much tax do I need to pay? Or can I get a refund? So when QuickBooks brought out working papers, my fear was it was going to be like every other working papers software I've looked at, which is completely and utterly overcomplicated and over-engineered, because it's focused, and rightly so, on the auditing industry. It's focused on the working papers they need to be able to deliver that complexity. And I don't need all that. So up until then, we were using Excel, and each team member kind of taken an Excel spreadsheet we'd created and they'd done their own little things. So all of a sudden I've got inconsistency, which really bugs me. So when working papers came out in QuickBooks, and it's like, actually, this is simple. It's powerful, but simple. It's not overly complicated. I can attach all my documents that I need to back it up. I can attach notes. Someone can tick to say, yes, we've done that. Myself or one of my team members can go in and go, right, they've done it. Yes, we agree. This boy, that's right. So, yes, that bank statement says X. They've got X. Great, tick. We can see our progress, we can see it's all right, and then we can move on to the accounts production. And it's formalised our process completely, and it's now made it more efficient. So much so that any clients that have got accounts in other softwares, that might be Blue, their trial balance gets imported into a QuickBooks license at the end of every year, so it can go through the QuickBooks work in papers process and then into our tax and accounts production software. Because that's the process that we've got confidence in, because we're documenting everything, but it's not overly complicated, which makes it inefficient.
We have got some QuickBooks booths out there, and at these events, I often see that they stay dormant. So please today, if you're liking what you hear about any of our features that we've spoken about or work papers, in fact, the man who created work papers, JV, put your hand up. The man himself is here. So if you want to ask more questions about work papers, you can speak to the horse's mouth.
Jesus.
So you mentioned a few things. You mentioned different colours, blue, different greens, and obviously the real green, the main green. So those in the audience may prefer the blue or the different green. What would you say to the audience why they should put their kind of flag to the ground and say, we are fully QuickBooks? Why should people choose QuickBooks and not other software providers?
I think for us, it's been amazing, really. I think they, Intuit have proved themselves during the last, 10 to 25 years at the biggest and best ones out there. And the amount you saw Tom on stage, and the amount they're investing in AI and trying to continually improve the product, and the links they have. I think they all have the links for the software. The other green one, obviously, abysmally failed, didn't they? So that was fairly famous. So I'm sure not many will use that unless it's the desktop version. But
to be fair, they thought cloud was a gimmick.
It
was like Kodak thinking digital cameras weren't going to be a thing.
Right. The amount that they put behind it, and they do listen as well. Myself and Johann are both part of the QuickBooks Accountant Council. I had a feedback on Bureau last week and where that's going to, which is looking absolutely great, to be honest with you, and been involved with the pricing side of it as well. So, I'm just ultimately a small accountant in Bury St Edmunds, but I'm having those conversations. So Intuit have always embraced that, and that's always been their tagline, that they listen to you and want the feedback. And I've definitely seen that.
I was really transparent last week in Glasgow. I think definitely as a business, probably 9 years ago when we came into the UK market, we were very much about the SMB. Hopefully now all of you in the room are starting to feel that the love from QuickBooks around the accountants, because it's not just us up here saying that you are our number one focus. You genuinely are our number one priority. So hopefully you're feeling that love, and hopefully by the end of the day, if you're not, you definitely do. Johann, a couple of words from you on why QuickBooks?
So first of all, you've got this thing called customer service. Like if something breaks in QuickBooks, I can ring a support line. I don't have to send an email and hope for it to be answered in 24 hours. And then they come back and you realise they didn't understand what you're asking them in the email, which means you've got to send another email, wait for that response. Ultimately, it's too long. Like, I want to be able to pick up a phone and go, I've got this problem, and they go, yeah, we can fix that. So the support is phenomenal. They get problems fixed straight away, which means the support is delivering in the same line that we as a team and want to deliver to our clients anyway. And secondly, like the future is AI. Like I've just scrapped my iPhone for the Google Pixel 8 because it's got so much AI built into it. It is the future, and it's the only mobile phone that's going to have the AI in within the next couple of months. But as Tom said this morning, AI is fed by data. QuickBooks have got 103 million customers across the world. That's a lot of data. Like, the other green one technically has got a lot of data, but is it the right data for you and your clients? Because the majority of their market is the mid-sized businesses. That doesn't translate to how small businesses work and operate, so the data's not compatible. The blue one, has it got as much data points? Probably not. So you've got to have enough data and the right data. And QuickBooks have been singing and shouting about AI for a long time, but there's been a lot of noise in the last year. Intuit Assist, can't wait for that to hit the UK. Really excited about the possibilities there. Whereas its competitors are saying, oh, we might use AI to help you categorize bank transactions quicker. It's like, cool. What else can it do? Nothing. Like, that is what they're looking at. They've got a really short-term, limited view. Whereas we've got this whole Intuit Assist thing coming, like it's like the accountant's version of ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is just incredible. It saves me and my team so much time. Like, I'm dyslexic, so when I use ChatGPT to redo every single email template in my practice management software, it took half an hour to do 30 or 40 templates, and every single one is better worded for it without any hassle. If I can take that efficiency and put it into QuickBooks with Intuit Assist, imagine what I can do for my clients.
So I'm conscious of time. I want to ask one more question and then I'll pass over to you to ask the questions. We've heard a few times around different apps that you're using. So obviously QuickBooks does fully integrate with loads of apps. What are you using and how's it helping your business? Chris?
Mentioned earlier, Dext is the biggest one for me. We have loads of our team. You literally just see come downstairs and they're just literally taking photos all the time or scanning, and it saves the bookkeeping function so much time. You put the rules in place and it's just, you know, automated bookkeeping ultimately. It allows us to improve the quality of accounts that we produce. So I think that's been the biggest one for us.
Yeah, great, thank you. Johann?
So we are using auto-entry. Tax Calc is our accounts and tax production. We use Apron for our payables. Definitely worth a chat with them if you want to look at payables as a new service. We use Chaser for credit control. I mean, our biggest bit of software has nothing to do with delivering services to clients in a direct sense, but it's Microsoft Teams. Every single one of my team members works from home. We don't have an office. We've got a couple of co-working spaces because those two team members prefer a co-working space than working from home. So we provide that. But every single one of my team in the UK work from home. And then we've got our 9 colleagues over in Sri Lanka. Like, we live and breathe Microsoft Teams for messaging, team chats, video calls, audio calls. Like, one team member came to me the other day who used to work in an office and said, you've got better communication in this business where no one ever sees each other in person than I've ever had in a working space of offices. Like Jade, my operations manager, went from assistant bookkeeper in 2018 to my head of operations this year. I met her for the first time in person at QuickBooks Connect in March this year. Like, but it's like we've never.
Is at Jade's request, not to see it.
Yeah, like, but we've never needed to meet because we can communicate so effectively using technology. So yeah, whilst QuickBooks is always on, Teams is on the other window.
Such a different flip as well. Like, I run an office, and which most people are used to, but we use Teams as well all the time. Jumping on that one, but when pandemic obviously hit in 2020, you know, you think about the disaster it's going to cause. Well, we were already using it. We were already using it for video calls, for our phone calls as well. And even though it was terrible for everyone, we did genuinely shut the door and go home and work. We didn't continue it like you have, but yeah.
Great. What I want to do now is, like I said, the objective of this session is to make sure you get insights and best practices that will help power your prosperity for today, and for tomorrow. So I'd love now to open up the floor. Misha has got some microphones, so got a lady at the front here. Could pass my mic. Thank you.
You guys was very good. One question. How do you manage the communication with the clients? Like emails that are sent to specific members of the office regarding one subject, but they always drop one question that's for another member of staff in terms of document management or even that.
So for us, if there's an email that comes in with a few questions and someone can't answer that question, one of those questions, they just go onto Teams and ask that team member, or they go to a team chat. Like, so we've got client managers, we've got an accounts team, we've got our payroll team, we've got our bookkeeping team, and they just go, clients ask this, what's the response? And then one of us jumps in and goes, this is the response. And they take that because that's a learning opportunity. if they forwarded that onto me and I responded to that question straight to the client, how is that person who's got the question being asked to them ever going to learn? So a client asking a question is my opportunity to teach that staff member the answer so that they don't need to come to me again in the future.
Thank you.
Hello. Works, that's good. So I guess one question I was thinking from what you said, just genuine client base might be small, focusing kind of up to 2 million turnover. With QuickBooks Online Advanced coming over to the UK in the past year, do you feel that you might be able to push upwards into bigger clients? Is that, has that development enabled you to grow?
I think we use it ourselves. It definitely gives you more insights and more ease of. There's more data you can get out, and it gives you more of a management tool. I think you'll be surprised where obviously your business could have some massive clients, but we've not really hit the ceiling ourselves of don't know I've never really worried that QuickBooks Online couldn't support that really big client. I suppose Sage 200 is the one that sort of goes out for the really massive clients, but against everything else, I've always seen QuickBooks fine for us up to sort of £5-10 million clients. So,
What's your view? Thank you, Chris. What's your view on QuickBooks Advanced?
It's a new tool. It's there for us to use. Is it a market we want to get involved in? Not at the moment. I've recruited a team that are very passionate about small businesses and startup businesses. And there's not many of us in that team that are overly passionate or interested in the bigger businesses and the politics and bureaucrats that come with that. We're quite happy with the audience that we've got, but we do now have this tool on standby. So if someone does come to us with a bigger business with more complex needs, and we go, yeah, actually, we like this business, we like the culture, we want to work with them, and they do need something more powerful than QuickBooks Plus, we've now got that tool in our arsenal. I suppose it's like any tool in a toolbox. You don't use every single tool every day, but it's nice to know you've got that tool for that one time you do need it.
I really love the question because one of the most untalked about products of ours is QuickBooks Advanced. So please, again, the boobs are out there. If you want a demonstration on QuickBooks Advanced and what the benefits are to you and your customers, please do grab. We've got more salespeople here today than I've ever seen before. So definitely, please keep them busy. Get them demoing the product because QuickBooks Advanced is a game changer in the market. Just find that niche and what prosperity that's going to power for you and your customer.
I just wondered how you deal with resistance to change from clients and staff members, particularly those very small entities, because sometimes there's that stigma of, if we look at the license fee, how do you sell the benefits? And if obviously you build that license fee to get higher, how do you sell that?
That's a great question I have written down and didn't ask. If nobody asked it, I was going to ask it. So, Chris, should we start with you?
Yeah, I think I definitely sold the time savings. I got a lot of friends onto QuickBooks Desktop when it first came out to test it. And I always just said, one of my best mates, a carpenter, and he used to spend all Monday evening doing quotes on Word. Then he used to have to retype out for the invoice. He wasn't that great on IT. And as soon as he started using estimates in QuickBooks, converting that to an invoice, he was like, well, £10-15 a month. He was sold, that saving him like 2-3 hours every week. So that was the easy sale. And also within our firm, we basically sold them, look, we think if you go on QuickBooks Online and get everything right, we'll obviously assist you, but it will reduce your accounts fee because we knew that we could do it a lot quicker than compared to spreadsheets. So we sort of sold it that way, but we knew that it would save us miles more time ourselves. So we thought we could scale quicker than the saving it could provide. So
yeah, we're fairly the same when it comes to our clients of, look, we can do it your way, it's going to cost X because it's not our way, or we can do it our way and it will cost less. So sting them in the pocket where it hurts if they want it to do it their way, because we don't want to do it their way. We want to do it our way. It's our business. Like, their customers don't tell them how they're going to serve a pizza in their restaurant. why should they tell us how to do whatever we're doing? In regards to the team change, I have an unfair advantage compared to most people in the room in that I'm not a good bookkeeper or an accountant. I'm not hugely experienced or licensed in those areas or certified. I've got an amazing team of certified accountants and bookkeepers. I'm a chartered manager. My leadership and management is my skill set. That's my passion. So while they're off doing CPD on different taxes and stuff, I'm off listening to Simon Sinek and things like that. So culture, leadership and management, that's the bit I love. And from day one, I've been very proactive in developing a culture that is proactive and adopting of change within my team. So my team don't get irate about change. They do question it, and I encourage them to question it. I want them to question me so that it's not just me doing my shiny magpie syndrome thing of going, ooh, new software, let's go and play with that. Like they do challenge me on it to make sure it's the right for the whole business and the clients. But again, that's promoted in our culture. So if you've got your culture right and you're leading your team right, then change is not an obstacle.
I think the question is such a good one because there's two different answers there from Chris and Johann. And if all of you answered the question, I think there would be different ways in which you've overcome the challenges, and some of you are still probably facing the challenge. So please, I encourage you today during lunch and breaks to network amongst yourselves and ask those questions of each other, because there is the answers in this room. Not necessarily, the right method might not be the approach that these guys have taken. Ewan last week in Glasgow was, it's QuickBooks or nothing, and I'm not going to take you on as a customer. And he was prepared to lose customers, and it was very much a direct approach. That might not be the right approach for you. So please do network amongst yourselves today and explore.
Hello, my name's Johann. QuickBooks Advanced is a lot more powerful than QuickBooks Online. Okay, so we've decided to pack in work. It's about 5:15. But it's a good business. The owner just doesn't care.
I'm not sure how much good content Liz is getting out of this.
We are live. I've got Johann Goree in the house.
Welcome to a new episode of Ask the Accountant Who You Have Called Friends.
I'm at that firm. I do a podcast every week. Aaron and I actually met and came up with the idea of this podcast in